Good.
Welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio. Last time, we defeated a freaking dragon, and the demo's still not over yet. So, let's head to the royal capital of Grand Trad. Hopefully we'll make it by the time of the royal funeral.
Great.
There's no time to lose.
Escaping the dragon's threat in the Nord mines, the party shakes their pursuers amidst the discovery of great powers. To make up for lost time, they risk hiring a coach to secret them the rest of the way to the capital. The royal funeral draws ever closer. 2 days remain.
Finally, we found a ride. Looks like we should make it in time for the funeral after all.
Yeah, us sneaking into the city in, like, the back of this wagon just, for some reason, makes me think of this movie called Quest for Camelot, which I used to like as a kid, but, like, seeing some clips of it now, yeah, it's not that great. It does have a really cool blind character who's, like, legitimately awesome and well-written. But apart from that, it also has Gary Oldman as a hilariously over-the-top villain. Those are the main things, but, like, there's part of his villain song where he goes, like, in the backs of my wagons, my men will all ride.
Last time we rode in a public carriage, it was hit by bandits. A pack of Louis zealots too, if I remember. Talk about a nasty surprise.
So as friends in the military and in the banditry, great.
You've come a ways since then. Any bandits who set on us now are in for a nasty surprise.
Yeah, we would just straight up pull the whole call an ambulance, but not for me on them. This actually does remind me, though, some people in the comments have already pointed this out, the manga of this game does deviate on a lot of things, and one of them is that it is Stroll who's with you on that first carriage bandit attack, not that red-haired person whose name we don't know yet.
Reminds me of the road to the fort. Sitting there in the cart. Never could have imagined you and I would be the only survivors. Strange. How fast life can change.
It is really surreal thinking that, like, all those other people that were with us on that journey are all dead now.
It'll only get tougher from here on out.
Oh, I wasn't really complaining. I know what I signed up for.
The last couple days have certainly been eventful. Almost feels like everything we thought we knew about the world was wrong.
And we're only just barely scratching the surface of this story.
Well, plenty of people live their lives without taking a single step outside their city. But we haven't the luxury of ignorance, I suppose.
We're almost to the capital. Quiet now, and stay sharp.
Alright, I just noticed I haven't pointed this out yet. Every day of the week has its own name in this world.
Milady, welcome back, and thank you for making the trip.
Speaking of that red-haired person whose name we weren't supposed to know yet, yeah, this girl looks oddly familiar.
After so long, I am only surprised anyone remained here who yet remembered me.
Surely you jest, milady.
Pay me no mind. I heard of the king's death. The skyline is full of unfamiliar figures. 'Tis a testament to how long I've been away.
It's the guard that's changed the most. It's just chaos and politics there, arguing over matters of succession. Feels like we've lost sight of who we're even protecting. Not to mention talk of monsters at the border. We've nowhere near enough soldiers to deal with them on top of everything else.
After tomorrow, the city will calm. Once the formality of the funeral is past, a new king will be crowned. After which, I suppose there'll be no further need of a search party. Not many even remember we were searching in the first place.
The royal funeral draws ever closer. 1 day remains.
But what were they searching for?
Escaping the Nord mines, the party hailed a horse-drawn coach and returns now to Grand Trad, capital of Uchronia, the day before the royal funeral. As they gaze upon the city, flags of mourning fluttering in the wind, the magnitude of their mission exacts its toll on the heart.
The fog's rolling in. Rain's the last thing we need.
Can this funeral withstand more misfortune? I've heard they don't have enough soldiers to keep the peace.
Well, no thanks to that Captain Klinger.
That way it'll be fine. All the aristocrats are bringing their own personal guards. I imagine boredom's the worst we need to worry about.
Oh boy, never say that.
Let's not draw attention to ourselves. There's a hostelry tucked at the back of Sunshade Row, the Hushed Honeybee Inn. We'll talk details once we're there.
Here we go.
I find it interesting that this part of the city is called Sun Lumio Street. So as in, like, not in English, and then Sunshade Row is written in English, and that implies that it's outside of the sun, whereas Sun Lumio implies within the sun's light. It's pretty clear what they think of the different districts in this place.
That's terribly unfair.
And yes, indeed, I agree, that's terribly unfair, but not the whole Elder thing. Also, always remember to triangle Gallica.
That's terribly unfair.
Which is also terribly unfair. I love the incidental NPC dialogue. Oh boy, there's a certain incidental NPC line that you'll see way later on, and I do mean way later on in like the last arc of the game that is kind of a meme because of how commonly you hear it. So it doesn't really look like there's much that we can do around here. Oh, a horde of goblins. Those are this world's, also that's still terribly unfair. Those are this world's equivalent of goblins, which we might be dealing with at some point. Yeah, those grey and black flags are probably the mourning ones. They still carry the same image of the Ukrainian royalty, though. And everybody is still racist, as usual. Yeah, these accumulators here, they're sucking out the magma of the air. But what's it used for? That's something that you'll find out if you just go around the city talking to people. There is a pub over there, but it's not the one that we actually need, so because there are going to be some really major events coming up, I think we should just head straight to our story destination. Yeah, pretty obvious that we are not from this area, but where exactly are we from? Also, the citizens here can be pretty unwelcoming to someone of your tribe. Yeah, you think? We've already kind of gone through that. I like these transition scenes in between parts of the city. They're a little bit Persona 5, but they do have their own unique flavor to them. So this is where we ran into those beggars earlier, and also where we saw somebody get hanged before.
Got it.
Got it. Yes, exactly. So we're going to need to ask around for the Hushed Honeybee Inn. Only bad sorts of folk go there. So the narrow end of the gallows, which is right that way. But first, Pompous Man. This guy has a portrait. Keep that in mind for later.
Hey.
Where is one sure to find the kind-hearted in this country? Here?
Right.
Well, that's kind of a cynical way to look at it, but given how messed up this place is, it makes sense the only people hanging would be the good ones.
Yeah.
Dreadful.
That guy, there's a lot of suspicious stuff about him, but, well, given that he has a portrait, we'll be finding out more in due time. One thing that you might want to notice here, though, is look at these people out here with these black triangles above their heads. First time I played this, it reminded me a lot of Apathy Syndrome from Persona 3, and, is that an accurate comparison? We'll see. Yeah, even the people of the tribes already looked down on by this city are not kind to Elder. We are truly the lowest rung of this society. We also have Gloam Hall, a basically black market magic shop. But once again, we can't really do much with that.
The crowd on this street looks pretty rough.
Yeah, they certainly look rough, just...
Watch out for pickpockets. You can bet they'll all see you as an easy mark.
A bunch of homeless people just lying down and not being a threat to anyone. Looks like Gria's already got well ahead of us.
You there.
Well, at least you apologized. Yes, the soldiers getting annihilated at the fort was all very much by design. You know, I just got drawn to this lady's dress right here. So, even though this is a very medieval fantasy flavored world, also you're not allowed to have carriages or paint in this area apparently, even though this is a very medieval fantasy world, a lot of the fashion is influenced by more, like, modern-day fashions. I think something around the lines of, like, the 60s or 70s. So a lot of unique flavors in going into the visuals of this world. So yes, what horrors will await us in this seedy inn of seedy people?
You're back.
Papa, welcome home.
A wholesome child and the nicest inn proprietor you will ever meet in your life.
Well, hello, my Maria. I trust you've been staying out of trouble.
Just goes to show that you can't judge anything by appearances in this city.
These are, well, new recruits. Just enlisted.
So young. It's good to meet you. I'm Fabienne. This inn is my business and my home. Manners, Maria.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm wasting away over here. Where's my order?
Maria, could you handle that?
Yes, right away.
You're back sooner than I thought. Something happened.
Something bad. Barely any survivors.
I see.
I didn't know Grius had a daughter.
I know I've already asked so much of you, but would you mind looking after Maria a little while longer?
Of course. It wouldn't be the honeybee without her. Now, as for the rest of you, after braving the frontiers with this curmudgeon, I'm sure you would welcome a warm supper.
Once we're done, we'll head upstairs.
It's so good.
Oh, spicy. I can't feel my tongue.
Oh, pipe down and eat, boy.
That was delicious, especially the meat. I wasn't expecting it to have such a kick, but it grows on you fast.
Seems like there's a trend of bro-type characters in Atlas games and having really well-acted reactions to food. Ryuji had a lot of those too.
Red grass roasted bidao. Bird meat. One of her hometown specialities.
You might want to remember that, because it's relevant to a side quest that we'll be taking on fairly soon.
She's risked a lot to shelter me and to help the resistance. I owe her more than I can say.
You said we were short-handed, but are we really the only ones?
I know we've plenty of independent agents fighting in their own ways, but it seems none could avail themselves to us, which means we're the only ones who can do this.
Still, killing Luis.
That's not going to be an easy feat.
Grius, do you have a plan? Fill us in.
Midway through the funeral, in broad daylight. That's insane.
I guess maybe that's why they won't see it coming?
It's risky, to be sure, but we'll never find a better chance at confronting the man directly. Don't worry. I'll be the only one getting close to him.
That's precisely why we should worry. Isn't it better if we go for strength in numbers?
I'll need you to draw Luis's attention from a different location. All I need is an opening. And don't rely on your fancy powers for this, alright? It'll attract too much attention. Killing a man and slaying a beast are two very different things.
But what about a man who's as strong as any beast?
This is all I need.
You're joking. You and that kitchen knife against an archmage. Isn't there anything we can do to help?
I do like that Stroll also realizes the absurdity of this plan.
No, you'll just get in the way. Besides, this kitchen knife can slit his throat like the swine he is. A fast kill, if not a clean one. It's nothing I've not done before. Give me my opening, and the man's dead.
I really don't know about this.
Stop fussing. Leave it to me. One last thing. Keep Maria company a while, would you? The girl gets lonely on her own.
Aren't you at least going to tuck her in?
You've got to prepare tonight. Too much still needs doing. And best that it's done as far from her as possible.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, best to keep your daughter that young out of an assassination plot.
And there's his fatherly side, I suppose. Sorry, but I'm going to bed early. I need a full night's rest if I don't want to be a liability.
Well, we've all been short on time to ourselves, but I'd feel bad leaving Maria all alone. Shall we go check in on her?
And you might know where this is going.
Look at that.
Hey!
Once again, we talk to Gallica, which she'll basically just say the same thing, but still. You know, I do like hotel rooms like this, the really small ones. They can be cozy in their own way. Once I was in France and I stayed at a hotel that was basically a hole in a wall in the middle of a street. It was still a pretty decent hotel, but like, it was a pretty small room. I still remember it though. So yeah, we do need to go out into the hallway of the Hushed Honeybee. Oh, that candle looks so good. I really like this. Like these are pretty impressive graphics, but at the same time, they're stylized just enough that you know that the art style is gonna age well in the future.
Please enjoy your stay.
A lot of games, like from earlier console generations, tried to be hyper-realistic, and then once technology advanced, it just looks really awkward to look back on. But art styles like this, they last. And I hope this is a tale that lasts the test of time.
I was thinking we could play a game.
Play a game? But it's already nighttime.
So I originally guessed after seeing her in trailers that Maria was voiced by Karina Reeves, Fiora's voice actress from Xenoblade, but it's definitely not her. I worry because I'm like, oh, that's just making it sound like all British people sound the same to me, but like, I do think the regional dialect is very similar to Fiora's.
Oh, I just remembered. Papa said you have a strange book, and that I should ask to see it.
He specifically requested you to show Maria that book, huh?
You like books, huh? Well, I haven't ever seen one before, so I was wondering what they're like.
Must be sad if you haven't seen any books, though.
Want to read it together?
Really? Oh, but I still have work to do.
Don't worry, Maria. I can handle this crowd. You have fun reading upstairs.
Really?
Yes. You did a very good job today.
Let's read then. There's so many pictures. Are all books like this? Miss Fabienne taught me how to read a little. She said it helps with keeping the inn running.
Do you help out every day?
Mm-hmm. It's lots and lots of work, but it's fun too. Plus, I like when people say I'm clever, so I've got to work really, really hard. Papa always says not to go into his room, so I wait for him a lot. I'm good at waiting.
Being, like, whenever somebody describes themselves as being good at waiting, that's always a bad sign.
Are you sure you're doing all right?
Yes, Papa's always like this when he comes home, but I'm happy he's here.
I did notice something, though. Notice that Maria, like, you'd expect that a kid like her would be freaking out over the fairy, but not everyone can see Gallica. This is something that, for some reason, has not been super obvious to me, like, enough to point out until now, but that is something important to know.
Thank you. It was fun talking to you.
Let's do this again sometime.
Really? You don't mind talking to me? Then it's a promise. You're helping Papa with his job, aren't you? So, be safe. I've heard his job can be really dangerous.
Oh, it's about to get even more dangerous.
The pure-hearted maiden, Maria. Within her dwells the virtue of the healer. Nurture thy bond with her, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
Thank you.
Slowly filling out more spaces on the Vitruvian man.
Healer!
I'm a healer, but... You think I'm memeing, but that actually sums up the healer archetype, as its initial value is not even healing. It's the fact that its basic attack is strike element, and that it has light. And let's just say, we'll soon be facing enemies that are weak to both of those, and these continue to be common enemy weaknesses for a long time. Though it is also weak to strike in itself, and that can be a big problem. The dark weakness, less so for a little while. Also notable, its magic is a little higher than mage at max level. And that will be a theme even for the higher tier healer archetypes. But once you hit rank 3, it can actually start healing with our first party healing skill. Now this I prefer to inherit onto other archetypes than actually keep on healer, as its stats ironically make it more suited to attacking. We get status curing at rank 5, light dodge at rank 9, though only 2 archetype trees have light weaknesses. Dekunda to remove debuffs from the party at rank 13 is nice, especially for inheritance, and its inheritance cost isn't that expensive, relatively speaking. And at rank 20, you get Healer's Insight. This gives you HP regeneration based on the number of the same lineage in the party. Why doesn't this buff the power of your healing skills? Well, that's because healing actually scales off of your weapon attack in the same way that magic damage does, and so a later archetype that buffs weapon attack is also the healing buff effect. And if you've played this game before and know which archetype I'm talking about, it is hilarious that it works that way. But for now, remember to keep your weapons updated on this archetype, because it affects more than your strike damage. Healer's hero passive recovers 10% of the party's HP whenever a support attack lands in field combat. Overall, not as useful as the MP recovery from Mage. Speaking of which, one of the biggest weaknesses of the healer archetype is that it is not required for anybody's ultimate archetype. What this means is, nobody will ever pick up healer as a side effect of trying to get their ultimate archetype, which means you need a very good reason to study this on any character. And in my opinion, there are 3. Being really good at killing undead, inheriting AoE healing and status cures to other archetypes, and the 3rd tier of healer, Savior, having some of the highest stats of any archetype. If those 3 things are appealing, then healer is for you.
I wonder if Papa will stay for longer this time. It'd be sad if he had to leave right away.
I'll ask him to stay.
Okay. I think I'll try to read a little bit more. And then I'll go find Miss Fabian and go to bed. Alright. I'll try to read this part now. In this country, the something king hears the voices of the city and protects their way of life. What's this say?
Society's purpose is to protect its citizens. This is a basic principle of this utopia. All are equal, all live in safety, and the rich and poor are as one, with no gaps, no conflict. All are friends, deserving of help. Basically, it's a place where there's no fighting, and everyone always gets along.
Wow. Where is this place? No one gets left alone there, right? I wish I could go. Can I read a little more?
We're probably not going to bed anytime soon.
And we have a big operation tomorrow, so
As dawn breaks, so begins the procession to the Grand Cathedral.
thankfully this game doesn't have a tired system like Persona 3.
The King's casket has left the castle. The procession will take the main streets to its destination, the Grand Cathedral. I'll have you blend in with the guards posted there. On my mark, you'll create a distraction. Draw Luis's attention.
What, with the soldiers? But our uniforms are...
I had Fabienne patch them up.
In the state they were in? That must have taken all night. Let me see.
Thanks for keeping Maria company yesterday. I'd appreciate if it wasn't the last time.
Well, we have 7 more ranks with her, so it will certainly not be.
Don't worry. I'll handle it.
I appreciate it. The girl just has trouble making friends is all.
Yeah, I know those kids. I mean, I was one of them.
We're gonna split up as soon as we leave. At the Grand Cathedral, we'll pose as guards to cause a commotion. I leave the rest to you.
I'll see to everything here. Don't worry.
Papa.
I'll be back tonight. Be a good girl while I'm gone, eh?
We can read a little more from my book, all right?
Really?
Once we're back, let's all have dinner together.
Yes, please.
Be careful.
See you soon.
I mean, we're probably gonna have to flee the city once this is over, but we probably shouldn't tell her that.
Once it's over, we'll regroup back here at night. I'm counting on you.
Okay, well at least we'll get one visit at night.
We'll do our best. Right then. Let's get ourselves ready, then head for the Grand Cathedral.
Press R1 to open the local map. Icons are shown where each facility is located. Major facilities include the weapon shop, armor shop, general store, and magic shop.
Let's go.
So, the fact that there might actually be a reason to buy weapons, armor, and items, that tells you something.
What is it?
There's a no littering sign over there too. But there is something perhaps more important to realize when going here. There is the spectral illusion of more again. Well, it's kind of interesting this being the place that's peaceful enough to get to academia because it's right in front of the gallows. Let's back away slowly.
Now, where was I?
Hello, Moore. Let's read our novel and go into the world of escapism and ignore that insane person who loves executions, shall we? Doing this is optional, but it's probably a good idea to go for it now because of the fact that this new archetype might be very useful.
Well then.
In what's coming.
What?
All right. That means...
Yeah, you've said that exact same thing before.
Because you see...
So, this is our first quest from Moore. We need to research the heroic embodiment of the healer.
This one's important.
And by research, he means get it all the way to rank 10. Doing this will not only give us 3 heroes incenses, it will also increase imagination, one of our royal virtues. Think social stats from Persona.
Please.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. But for that,
Oh yeah, the question is, are we really ready to confront him now?
this research.
So we're both gonna benefit from this partnership. It's very much a mutual one.
How delightful.
Ah, right, we're getting the introduction to the skill inheritance system, which I've already talked about in the various archetype bios. You need to spend mag on this, so you can use this to either give a party member a new archetype, or make skills from other archetypes inheritable. And there are ways to grind for mag easily that I'll be explaining once we have access to them.
I've been waiting.
Yes, I know that is DLC, but I'm not going to be using that. Skill inheritance is now available. You can spend mag to unlock previously learned skills and give them to other archetypes. So every archetype has its own separate inheritance slots. So for example, on Will, I could say inherit, let's see, yeah. I can inherit these things from, well, these are in fact all the skills that I can inherit right now. So I could give Warrior some of these magic skills. But what I think I actually want to do now is study archetypes, and I think it's about time we had a healer. Not because of healing. It's because of the fact that where we're going, we're really going to want strike and light attacks. I would highly recommend that you study healer on at least somebody, and that means either protagonist or Stroll, because they're the only ones who have access to that right now, before you proceed with the story.
Of course.
It is the most expensive archetype we've encountered so far, though. Reach out a hand to any in need, and also reach out a club and light spell onto the heads of undead, because that's really what this class is good for at the start. The greater of percentage of archetypes you study, the more rewards you get. So we have some more of those heroes fruit. Okay. I got this means I can give Dragon's Indignation to Stroll, though, so that's good. So yeah, that's a big drop in power compared to Warrior, but if I wanted, what I could do was, I could inherit Diagonal Slash from Warrior onto Healer. I think for the moment, I'm good. What I can do, though, is swap Stroll back over to Dragon's Indignation, and so those heroes fruits are archetype experience items. These can be used to give experience to archetypes that you might not want to be using in battle at the moment. There are actually a few ways to level up archetypes without battle, so okay, where are we at with, okay, you're at 4 Seeker, 1 in Mage. Okay, you're only on 1 at, actually no, I'm gonna get a little bit more on Healer at the moment.
Good.
Yeah, that took me straight to rank 3, and that gets me weak HP recovery for all allies. Not sure I want, actually I might want Patra for the next fight, but okay, right, I think I'll actually give Stroll archetype details. Yeah, let's see what you'll, okay, you won't get another skill until rank 8, but it does mean more stats. I think I will actually give a fruit to Stroll there. Just barely off another archetype rank there, but will, for my last hero's fruit, let's go, let's get you a level in Warrior. Oh, 2 levels in Warrior. Yeah, those fruits are very effective at this point, but 500 archetype experience is not a massive thing later on in the game. But at that point, we have access to better archetype experience items. Like, think of them a little bit like experience candy in the modern Pokemon games, in that there are multiple different tiers of them, and you will eventually, like, get access to higher and higher variants of them. So, I did talk about that during my original stream of this game, but I do think it's a really fascinating example of how racism can spread. The fact that no one gets mad at him for saying bad things about Parapus. It just kind of internalizes in that child that doing that is okay, and then they'll grow up and still think that behavior is okay. I suppose that's why it's important to have these conversations with children earlier in life.
Don't miss your chance to sell now.
So this right here is a place where you can sell mag for money. Here's the thing, though. I don't often find this that useful because, in general, mag is a more precious resource than money is. There are plenty of good ways to make money in Metaphor, whereas mag is, there's a lot more important things to use mag on. It's for inheriting skills, and the prices on those can get quite steep. It's for learning new archetypes. And if you really are desperate for money, then there are better ways to make it, I'll just say. Everyone should just shut up. Well, in this town, I guess you have a point. But I just want to go over here to show off the weapon shop. I doubt I'll actually be buying anything here. It's very important to keep your weapons up to date, though. Also, a praise. This is not the purification thing that we were told about before. That's at a church, and I might have time to stop by the church soon, but, yeah. Pretty expensive to get stuff. There is a staff that increases fire attack strength for the mage archetype. There is a better mace for healer, though, and that would not be a bad thing to grab right now. As I said, you want to keep your weapons up to date because, unlike in Persona, your skill damage, and that includes magic too, and it also includes healing, scales off your weapon's power.
Welcome.
So, here in the armor shop, we can get some more iron mail for endurance. Yeah, different archetypes can equip different things. Heavy armor can only be equipped by more, heavier classes like warrior, whereas healer is restricted to lighter armor. Meanwhile, warrior can't equip this type of hat, while healer can equip the iron gauntlets and silver greaves still. But again, we're a little poor right now. I'd rather get that weapon upgrade. It does sound kind of bad not to get good armor on hard mode, but, well, if you kill the enemies first, they won't be a threat to you. Which is apparently Grius' strategy against Luis right now. Okay, so, important note about this place. Examine the bag of spices. We get another gold beetle. That one can be found at any point in the game.
And what is it you want?
I love this shopkeeper's voice. But yeah, here we can buy more medicines. We can also get cures for poison paralysis. Ariadne's thread. Use it to return to a dungeon entrance. That is actually an item from the Etrian Odyssey series. So yeah, they're referencing basically Atlas's entire library, except Trauma Center, sadly. We can also get a status inflicting item, which might be useful later. I think for now... Oh, I just realized, I think you actually are given an Ariadne thread a little later in the story. Parch water. Mysterious water that induces thirst the more you drink it. A natural, desiccant to dry up plants and trees. It's sold out, though. But you want to remember that this shop sells that. For significantly later in the story.
Eh?
But yeah, from here we can head straight into the Grand Cathedral region. Which we probably should, given that, yeah, things are about to get pretty intense. This might be another long part, but it's mostly story. I really hope that you guys are okay with that.
Alright then.
Because there's certain things that I really want to catch in the part after this. Granted, we do have a shop here we can check out. This person is wearing an interesting mask. That's because they're of the Mustari tribe. They come from far away in the middle of the sea. And they sell this thing called Soothing Sweet Bun, which I can't afford right now. The Soothing Sweet Bun cures anxiety, and let's just say you might want one of these right now, but I'm poor, so I'm gonna have to make do. There's a way to enter there that you might want to remember for later. While I'm here, may as well talk to you. Well, the Grand Cathedral's actually pretty close to here. I do love the ominous atmosphere from just the fact that the only thing you're hearing here is the bell of the funeral. So apparently the king wasn't considered popular enough to draw this many crowds for just himself alone. It's mostly just the cathedral. But that is according to the members of the church, so they are biased. That's quite a disrespectful thing to say, but yeah, you're kind of right. This place sucks.
It's quite fresh.
It is quite fresh. You are selling pristine clear water. The main thing to take note of in this shop is the fruit cordial, which restores MP. Always want to stock up on MP items. This place is essentially the vending machine of this game. If you remember my Persona playthroughs. You actually do need pristine clear water later, so I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those now.
Oh my.
Amazing.
And here we have a butcher. What should I do? This butcher sells beetle meats. Again, we're gonna need this later, so I'm gonna grab one now. Reducing me to the absolute depths of poverty.
Gone to shite, this has.
So... there's bugs in the spices and we can't buy any. But you might want to remember about those spices, because those are the last thing we need, along with the clear water and the beetle meats. But now, before you head to the royal funeral itself, probably a good idea to save the game.
Got it?
Let's go.
All right.
Lots of lords and nobles. Some generals, too. All the big names are here.
Can you see Grius?
I can pick him out. Although I don't see Luis around.
Look there!
Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
What is this?
Isn't that the flower straight from the king's garden? And a common-blooded man bearing them to a funeral? Does the man know no shame? That's tantamount to declaring himself royalty. Barbarian.
Your fool of a king is dead. Disillusioned by vain aristocrats and simpering clergy, he withered and died under his own weakness.
The audacity!
How can he say that?
This is madness at the king's own funeral!
Lord Louis speaks true! The nobles are to blame!
Mr. Guilty!
But open your eyes, and you will see the crisis in our nation. I will show you truth, the truth of reality. You've all been sheltered, blinded by walls of stone. Behold a human corpse. They are no mere rumor. They lurk and nest across the very land you call home. A fortress at the border was raised by a human mere days ago. How long before we're overrun? You can only blame your king's weakness. And thus, who deserves his crown? A man of proven strength!
How dare you, scoundrel! Your words verge on treason!
Against what ruler, Blue Blood? The dead cannot be betrayed. Let your late king's soul bear witness. Let Louis Squeerburn be named the true and rightful ruler of Uchronia.
Hey, What do we...
What's happening?
Such power. It can't be.
The palace!
Could this be the king's own magic?
I am Hypnodius the
His Majesty?
The people of my land desire a new king, and I shall provide.
Did he just say Hypnodius the Fifth? That face? It can't be. His Majesty, the King? How?
Is it him?
He was dead? Why?
Be silent! Let him say his piece.
Heed me, O kingless. Time is finite before my soul departs this benighted world. In 4 moons of life past death, there shall come a reckoning, a day of the hero. Upon that day, whosoever hath truly earned the greatest faith of the citizenry shall ascend to throne and crown by right of kings.
By right of kings? The faith of the citizenry? Truly?
From the lofty heavens shall my unfading soul look down upon thee, and from the whispered hopes of thine anxious hearts shall those to whom thine allegiances lie be laid bare.
What's happening?
I hear thy voices ring out in clarion truth. Here and now witness the faces of those most desired to become king.
It's Forden.
Count Louise! Count Louise is there too!
They're all candidates.
Ha! What glorious spectacle! The mantle of king is mine by right and providence.
You go too far, Louis. We gather to mourn His Majesty, and you desecrate it. You would befoul the throne, blackguard.
So be it. Shall we test that? Good people, is Forden truly fit to be king? Or shall you cast off the shackles of blind faith? We need not be chained to birth or trial. In my world, we are a people equal and united. I shall be your shield from the human menace. Together, peace is within our grasp.
When my village burned, the church did nothing.
There's no way we can fight those monsters alone.
And those of us in bonds? Will we too be protected?
Don't be fooled! He's not the man you think he is!
Hey, look! And Luis, he's catching up to Forden.
Can the giant thing really see what we're thinking?
Louis, you've led the people's hearts astray.
No future exists without the power to eliminate the human crisis. Those who stand at my side, who oppose the powers that be, my protection is yours. Or refuse my hand and perish. I will lead us over your corpses.
You mean, just as you killed the king?
A country is heavier than a crown, and he could not bear it. Retribution past due.
You vile! He cares nothing for the blood on his hands.
Damn you, Louis! You think you truly deserve the crown? You doom us all! I won't stand for it!
Hey, who are you? Silence him!
A Kingslayer deserves only death! That's right! Hey! Yes, good!
You need to go too.
Where's Grius?
Well, there's our distraction.
Alcest?
I shall not suffer the defiance of my people's will. In my name art thou punished.
Punished? Impressive. One of the royal family's dog. Rather poetic, I suppose. See how he has rewarded your loyalty.
No.
I warned you. This is the price of defiance. Though I hadn't expected the king's own magic on my side. So be it. Rally behind me. I will shield you from injustice. Rise above birth and circumstance, for they mean nothing.
Count Luis is our only
What
hope!
choice do we have? He'll kill any against him.
Not much of a choice.
Upon the day of the hero, whosoever has most earned my people's faith shall ascend upon my throne to rule, according to my judgment. Be thou criminal, pauper, or noble, thy claim is decided not by stature or tribe. I shall bear witness. From this heavenly seat I am nigh omnipotent. Look to the faces carved upon this rock, and see thou the faces of the chosen. I shall brook no sabotage or obstruction of this trial. Let all hear me and obey.